How did Roman gladiators end up at King Arthur's round table? Yes, we've got the rugby posts behind us, and that's not unusual here in Wales, as it's very much the national sport. But we're thinking ancient times, we're thinking the Roman invasion and the gladiators, and we're in Caerleon to get an answer to a question, but also to show you this beautiful town and all of the glorious history that it contains. So let's get on our way and see what we can see.
Apologies for the noisy airplane, but I thought you might like to see the charity school. It was built in 1724. Look at those windows. Look at this letterbox, isn't it wonderful? I love that, so traditional. Post, office, letters. Let's pop into St Cadog's Church and have a look in the grounds. Look at this knobbly tree. He's got lots of little knobbly bits sticking out. I assume that's where branches have been taken off over the years. He is enormous. And the branches come almost down to the floor, even though it's not a weeping willow. And what a lovely view of the church. This is a really pretty church. But there's something missing. Look up there, there was a clock. And it's been filled in with a board. I have no idea where that clock has gone. We can just see the Welsh dragon flag poking over the top. I hope it's in for repair rather than completely disappeared. Very nice, but I don't think we can go in. Let's have a look. Come on then, might as well check. Oh no, it's locked. Aha! If we look up this side, there used to be a clock that side too, and that's gone. So I think maybe the clock is being repaired or something for both clock faces to be missing. That's my guess. And such a lovely graveyard. And I don't think the camera can do justice on the size of that tree. Look at that. It's enormous. I think they've already taken the top off it, because it looks like one of those redwoods. I wonder if it is. Here's the bark on it. Isn't it lovely? And it's quite red looking, quite gingery. Oh, I love the contrast of the green against that bark. So dramatic too. Look at that.
It's a beautiful church, lovely churchyard. The trees are pretty old, but this represents the older history of the area, because this tells us about the standard of the legion that was here back in the days when all of this would have been under the control of Rome. And they had a legion here, a fortress. They had just over 30 major fortresses that stretched from the wild mountains of Scotland right down to the deserts of Saudi Arabia. And one of those 30 odd fortresses, those mega places, right here in Caerleon. And that was the standard of the legion Now we are used to the big grand entrances on the churches we visit, the gateways, the large wooden doors, but as you can see here, I'm 6 foot tall, and this is the rear entrance. Much smaller, but I think it has a beauty all of its own.
The flower den. Ooh, let's have a look. Oh, you can come to a Christmas wreath making workshop here for £52. Oh, that's quite good. You come and join us for festive fun and create a wreath that's personal to you while enjoying a glass of mulled wine, tea or coffee and festive treats. Ooh, we've got some beautiful flowers, some hyacinths to be coming into bud, but this is what we spotted. This is what really drew our eye. Look at this. Pumpkins. Happy pumpkins. Hello, Mr. Pumpkin. Hello, I'm a pumpkin. Welcome to our patch. Some lovely other flowers and shrubs too. I like this one. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, look at that. I've been looking at Christmas decorations. My gloves are covered in bits of snow.
Well, I know folks, you love it when we not only show you the beautiful places we visit in Wales, but also some of the lovely people. And this is Den.
Hello, Den.
Hello. Hi.
He's a florist here in Caerleon and such a nice man. He's got a gorgeous display outside of pumpkins, and I asked for permission and he said yes, we could film. So how long have you been here, Dan?
We've been going since March this year.
Oh, it's quite a new business.
Very,
then.
very new.
Oh, that's is it taking off? Are you doing?
Absolutely incredible.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Couldn't have asked for a better start. The people at Caerleon and those visiting Caerleon have been so welcoming. The village people within Caerleon have really embraced the new shop and have been regular visitors, and it's going great so far.
Oh, that's fantastic. So folks, if you end up at Caerleon, whether you're from the UK or abroad, when you come on a visit, be sure to drop in, because this is a gorgeous place. And I know Caroline's going to take you for a little look around the shop now, because we've had the owner's permission.
Yes, you have.
So all the best for the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Den.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for your warm welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, I love this display. Look at this. In the drawer, we got some plants. They are lovely. And look at this. I love this. Look at that. Ooh. I could have hours of fun in this shop. Far too much temptation.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at this. Our leaf field chatting. And you can come out and see all the flowers they got here. Oh, I like this. Look, oh, look at the pumpkins. Look at the pumpkins. We've got to have a look. I like them. And look at this. The displays here are just so wonderful. I really like the look of this place. Makes you feel good just by being here. Definitely worth a visit. And just to let you know, we're not sponsored in any way. I just like this place. And look, you've got all the walls behind you. It's so atmospheric. And we've got some heather. Or Erica, if you want to have a proper name. Skimmia, that was the name. I couldn't remember that. Very nice, neat plant. There's one thing you can say for a skimmia. It's neat and tidy and proper. This is still a work in progress. You can see more shelving to go in. The back's still going to get some work. I'll definitely be back here to check this out when it's all finished. What a lovely place. Oh, look, more yarn bombing. I love the hedgehog. And it's outside the Caerleon post office. What a lovely old building. And there's a defibrillator. in the old telephone box.
I came to Caerleon in search of King Arthur and gladiators and Romans, and what do I find? A plaque, and it's all about the Chartists. They follow me everywhere I go, and as you know, they've come up in several videos before, but this is a bit different because this plaque tells us about this property, Mint House, and it tells us about the guy who lived here all those years ago when the Chartist uprising took place. And he was so afraid, he owned the local plate works, and he was so afraid of the marauding rioters that he built this wall in order to try and keep them out. And this plaque is here to remind us that, as I've always said, wherever you go, there's history all around you, especially in Wales when it comes to the Chartist movement.
And another thing that's always all around you is the traffic. Now look at that. We stop filming now and it's gone quiet.
Oh, they'll come now, they'll come.
We've had massive wagons going through, buses, cars, and now silence. Look at that. Oh, there's a bike. Ooh, look at this. What a lovely house for sale. Salmon Cottage. Ooh, I think that would be a very nice place to live, but it's very close to the...
Wow, Caerleon is such a beautiful place. It's got so many interesting and varied architectural places, from churches to shops to post offices, and lovely people. Den was an absolute gem. What a great guy to meet. But here we are now, and this is Roman. Yes, that's what we came for, folks, was a little bit of Rome. Isca, that was the name of the fortress that was here. It was a landing at the very outset of the arrival of the Romans here in Britain, and they began to build and develop in AD 70, AD 90 and throughout. And boy, what a complex. 5,500 troops were based here at its peak. Amazing invasion of people from so far away who had come to this corner. And why this corner? The governor of the time was charged by the emperor to subdue the enemies that still raged in this area and occupy the land. But he needed just the right spot. He wanted to be on enemy territory, but he also wanted the water at his back so that he could bring in all the supplies that he would need. And Caerleon was the perfect spot. They had everything here that they needed. They had places to sleep, they had places to eat, they even had a baths. Now, we're not talking about a bath like you'd expect in your house. This was a swimming baths. 80,000 gallons of water, and actually that baths, the remains of it are still here in the town. It was an open air baths back in the day, but now it's under a cover to protect it, and thanks to modern technology and projection, they've been able to recreate the atmosphere and the actions of the time with Romans there bathing as you view it. There's also obviously the fort itself and all that came with it. But where we're standing today, here we get the answer to our question, because this is where what passed for entertainment in Roman times took place. We're in an amphitheatre. Long after the Romans have left, we're talking the 12th century, and it was a gentleman by the name of Geoffrey Monmouth. He was a scholar, but a man with a very vivid imagination, and he decided to write the history of King Arthur of the Britons. And when he wrote that history and the whole story of the Knights of the Round Table, his location for the Round Table and the venue for the meeting of the knights with the great king was right here. He believed this was the seat of King Arthur, this was the court of King Arthur, its circular shape that was rising out of the ground, he believed was where the knights had met. And that continued to be believed right through to Victorian times, when the Victorian tourists would come to see where King Arthur had held court with his knights around the table. Then, about 120 years ago, the archaeologists moved in. They started putting together the pieces, digging out the bits and pieces that were here, and they soon realised this was an amphitheatre from much earlier. We're talking 100 AD, that could seat up to 6,000 people on wooden benches. And in here, everything from exotic animals to the gladiators were entertaining the troops. So there it is, folks. That's the link between the gladiators at King Arthur's court.
There are these steps that lead down through the door and into the amphitheatre, but before you go there, there's this little doorway here. Now I've been trying to figure out what it is so that we go have a look, and there are steps. So my thoughts on this, what do you reckon, is that these steps were leading up to perhaps where the emperor would sit, and so he would get one of the top seats up here, and you can imagine how many people would be crammed on all the wooden benches, shouting and jeering. A lot of fun for some, not a lot of fun for others. When this was full of thousands and thousands of people, as you walked out or were pushed out or whatever, can you imagine the roar and the deafening sound? It must have been terrifying. It's a shame that man has been so inhuman to man over the centuries. But it is interesting to see the remains of this, and just to see the size, to get it all in perspective. There are lots of these little entranceways in, I would imagine, to get the crowds in, to get the gladiators in, to get the lions in. A bit like gate A, B and C we have at football and rugby matches nowadays. Let's go have a look over here. This looks interesting. Don't think this is just an entrance. Come on, let's go see what we can see. Oh, this seems to be a little room. Let's have a look. There was possibly some steps up there, but you've got this here. Now, was this, it looks very much like a chimney. Perhaps this was some sort of fireplace to keep people warm.
Do you think that they may have had fast food? You know, like we have burgers and hot dogs and pies and all the rest being served at the big international matches in stadiums today. I just wondered, was this somewhere where they actually cooked things and then sold them to the crowds?
Could be. 6,000 burgers would be a lot of burgers. And I don't know what they had. Do you have any idea what they ate for snacks in those days?
Not off the top of my head, but perhaps this kitchen was just for the dignitaries.
Oh, probably, yes. Just the posh people.
It's a thought. We'll have to check it out.
What do you think, everyone at home? Do you reckon this was something for just keeping people warm, or do you think it was cooking fast food?
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this trip to Caerleon as much as we have. It's been fantastic. We've loved it. If you have, please give us a thumbs up.
Doing, doing, doing.
And don't forget, till the next time, have fun. Bye.
Bye.